It would never be anything like it again. And guess what? Most of the people, um, I don't think we never had any killings around Eve. People got killed around the corner, got shot around the corner, but nothing directly related to the Eve after dark. That's why we were able to stay open as long. The Eve opened. We started opening at 9:00 at one time, and then people would barely show up. So we started opening up at 10, and we stayed open sometime until 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I saw the sun come up in the Eve after dark many a day, dude, and the music was still rocking. The barbershop got tired of us. He complained. The guy who owned the barbershop with the brothers with the owner of the club, he asked us, could we shut down at least by 6 o'clock? Okay. That's no bullshit. 5 o'clock. I'm sorry, 5 o'clock. Because we go sometime to 6. We do an after party. We do a party at the Queen Mary till 1:30. Come to the Eve for the after parties. That's what made Wrecking Crew so bad. And people forget it. People don't realize that Wrecking Crew was a self-contained unit. We had our own sounds, our own money. We had everything. I had my own money. We had our own crew. We had a big enough crew. We can do 2 events at one time. We go down to the Queen Mary, put 1,100 people on the Queen Mary, and bring half of them back to the Eve for another $3 till 6 o'clock in the morning. And it would just be, oh man, it would just be something else, man. Dude, that's the story, because nobody else had an after hours like we did. We had everybody else's after hours. It was only 3 clubs had after hours in LA. One was the Name of the Game, which that was pretty much an older folks club. Okay. Carolina West, that you had to be at least 21 for guys, 18 for girls. The Eve, as long as you was cool, you can come in. Because I didn't, I tried to make it 18 and over for the most part. But if you was cool, I didn't trip, because you could come into a non-alcoholic venue at pretty much any age. We didn't serve alcohol at Eve. We just served sodas and music. That's all we served. So as long as you was cool and you didn't look like a kid or anything like that, we let you in. I got girls right now. I was only 14. I was only 15. Yeah, but your ass passed for 20. But anyway, it just was a different era, man. And we got away with a lot of stuff for a long time until me and this cop got into it, and that's when everything changed.
Tell that story while we're at it. I know the story, and you haven't talked about it in a while.
Where I lived at, man, I lived on Carlton Avenue. If you look it up and look how close it is to the Eve. It's about half a mile from the Eve. And everybody between Main Street and Avalon, they was all my boys. We all went to Vanguard right on the corner. Everybody took different career paths. Some guys went into the community pharmaceutical distribution, and some folks, like myself, went into the entertainment game. And but the cops thought we all worked together, and that was the problem. They just knew I was the kingpin of everything, because I was the only one, had my own house, had a brand new car, wore suits every day to the club, and everybody come to the club. And cop never found nothing on me. He always thought I was the kingpin of that. I wasn't a king. I wasn't involved. My neighborhood guys respected what I did. I respected what they did. And me and this cop got into it one night, man. Because the old man had a rule for Eve after dark. He didn't want no dope in the club. So I had an undercover security guard that would act like he was trying to buy dope in the club, and he would bust cats and hold them for the police. Yep. Hey, what's up, J. Rose? Much love to you, Doc. Thank you very much. I see you. And we had called the cop so much, man, and in about 2 or 3 months' time, cop told me I was becoming a nuisance. I'm like, how am I a nuisance? And I'm basically doing your job. Well, I got to do all this paperwork and blah, 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 blah. I said, well, man, what you know? Well, we need a donation to the policeman's fund or something. He said, no, but I can use some of that pussy over there. And he was looking at one of my girls. Oh, no, officer, I'm sorry, I'm not a pimp. You look like one. No, that ain't what I do, man. You look like a pimp. And from that point on, man, that cop made my life a living hell. And that was the beginning of the end of our reign at Eve After Dark. Because that son of a bitch would follow me home. He'd jack me at the house, gave me tickets for parking. He gave me a ticket for lottery in front of my own house, man. I had a gate in my backyard. I would park my car in my driveway, open the gate up, because the gate swung out. I had to leave a little room, so I had to block the street. So he gave me a street for blocking my driveway. And it got to the point at one time I almost lost my driver's license. I was 1 point from losing my driver's license. And I told the old man who owned the club, man, what was happening. We filed a complaint. And when we filed that complaint, everything changed because now he's pissed. So he started giving me tickets. He started having his flunkies give me tickets. And one night, the biggest thing he did when he realized that we had found a loophole, we had found a loophole in the city ordinance, because the city ordinance said no jukebox, no live entertainment after 2:00. Well, where's DJ fall in that? DJ ain't live. It ain't a jukebox. So until somebody told me to stop, nobody ever said nothing. But when me and this cop got into it, homeboy made it his job to go down to the city, to the county of LA, because Eve is technically in the county. It's not in Compton. It's not in Compton. It's not in LA. It's in the unincorporated part of LA, like the Carolina West was, and also the name of the game. All those clubs were in the unincorporated part of LA. So we all had that same little loophole that we played by. Martin Cozy, much love to you, boy. I see you. So we all played that loophole. And when homeboy went down to the county supervisor's office and had him add DJ, that changed everything for Eve After Dark. He came down there with that paperwork and gave me my first ticket for being open past 2:00. No warning, no nothing. I didn't know what he had done. I didn't know he had done nothing. You got to be shut down at 2:00. Huh? Since when? Since this Thursday or Tuesday, whatever it was. And he was happy. And this son of a bitch, it was just like you see in the movies, man. Big fat gutted white dude, sheriff, smoking a cigar all the damn time. Okay, yeah, never lit, just smoke, just hold it out of his mouth. Yeah, here you go. I'm like, you son of a bitch. And then the last but not least, man, one of the last times he tripped, the white boy was the white boy. He was a training officer. White boy, I'm tired of giving this guy tickets. He don't do nothing. Why we keep fucking with him? You'll give him a ticket if I tell you to. Or I'm taking you to the captain. Let's go to the captain. I'm tired of this shit. And that was the last time I saw him. And shortly after that, we shut the club down because shit got too hot. It got too hot. I still had to sneak home. I literally had to sneak home, man. I wouldn't come down El Segundo. I'd go down 135th Street, come around to Main Street, and come up the back way because he would be waiting for me on San Pedro or 132nd. He'd just be waiting for my ass, man. And even when the club wasn't open, I had to sneak off my block because he would be looking for me, man, and just to harass me. And sometimes I was riding dirty, okay? Sometimes I'd be riding dirty, and I didn't want to get caught up with that bullshit. And lucky for me, he never caught me. Okay, I got caught one time, but I got away from their ass. Anyway, that's another story.
Damn. I believe every single part of that story. The only thing I didn't believe is there was a cop who stood up to another cop for doing something bad.
Dude, that was real talk. That was real talk. I was surprised, dude. He was why we keep fucking with this guy? He don't do shit. You got me writing these tickets. I got to go to court for this shit. What are we doing? And that's the part that blew me away. And shortly after that, that's when we decided. By that time, I already had my own doodles. I'd already talked to the old man to do those, and I was about to start planning my exit out of the Eve because the old man had pulled my chain to the club was too hot. Because see, the Eve had taken over Avalon El Segundo. The Eve had took over the entire corner. There was Jeffy's downstairs. There was a grocery store across the street. There was a Vons grocery store across the street. And when my people showed up on Friday and Saturday, there was nowhere to park. We had a parking lot, true enough, but even at Vons across the street, there was me and the street sweeper, me and the parking lot guy got into it. Man, I had so much bullshit that even after dark, I almost got shot 3 times by grown-ass men. Grown-ass men wanted to shoot me because of people parked in their parking lot. The guy who swept the I see something else. Miami 808. I see you. Much love to you. Thank you, Doc. The guy who swept the parking lot at the Vons across the street. We started shutting down about 4:00 on a regular basis. He came at 3:30. I'm like, hey man, why don't you just come on? Let me give you an extra $50. You come at 4:00, 4:15. I'm coming at 3:30. I got a route to do, blah, blah, blah. Okay, man, no problem. So sometimes he would go and do his thing, and he tried to work around the cars. He tried to block the gate off. And man, I wouldn't talk to him about letting people's cars out of the gate. He pulled a gun on me. I told you about this shit. I told you about this shit. I'm like, it ain't that damn serious. Then dude across the street from the gas station, right next to the thing. I'd always park. It was a payphone there. I'd probably park in the Vines parking lot side of the payphone, and the gas station was technically open, but it didn't look like it was open. Okay, and people would park and just leave their cars in the gas station. It was all night gas. They just park and leave their cars. He walked over there a couple times drunk with his gun in his hand. I'm like, what? I got my gun in my pocket. I don't want to shoot my dick, but if I got to lose the tip of my shit to keep from getting shot, call me shorty. Oh, Compton girl, I see you, baby. I see you. Thank you, baby. Thank you. But yeah, that was real shit, man. I mean, the Eve had a life all its own, man. The Eve of all the stories that's never been told, that's going to be told now. The Eve had a whole life of its own. Every venue that I've owned, my house, Eve After Dark, Dudos, and Skateland. All these venues have their own stories, and I think they're very significant to hip hop as in general. It's not just about me, just where how I roll. You know, I track certain shit, but I also demand a certain level of respect. I've always received that, man. I can't say I've ever been disrespected by anybody who knew me. I've had assholes, say all kind of stuff to me. At the club business, folks get drunk. You be all kind of bald head son of a bitches, whatever the case may be. But when it came to my guys and guys around here, I cannot say I ever been actually disrespected. One time, I had one break into my garage, and I thought that was disrespectful. But I know who did that, and God took care of them for me. I didn't have to handle that one.